Yeah, he never told me where we're going, but he said.
So I just asked him myself, and he said maybe Top House, if that's okay with you.
Fine with me.
All right.
11 o'clock. 11 o'clock.
All righty. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bum, 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 bum. Dun, dun. Let me see. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody get onto the screen. Jake, did you get a new phone? Busted ass phone. I mean, I'm like, there's a phone on my desk right here. And I'm like, who has put their phone on my desk? And I looked and it's like, pretty nice phone. It can't be Jake's busted up phone.
Hey, I just called her back. She didn't answer, but she texted me and said, please text me.
Just text her what I told you to ask. Text her to please just accept my agent on the Zillow. All right. Van, I need somebody other than me to have to do this, because I think if you're watching this and you see me doing this, it probably gets odd. Somebody needs to log into my YouTube and share it onto my Facebook. Could you ever do that for me, Van? Well, I've already done it, so it'd be an unnecessary step. If you're on, please like, comment, share the stream. When we start Real Estate 101, we always give a shout out. The morning grind, we give a 60 seconds of gratitude. The Real Estate 101, we give somebody a shout out. I'm giving my man, Shannon Wheeler, Premier Mortgage Group himself, a big shout out. Thank you, Shannon, for everything that you need. If you have any questions about mortgages, rates, programs, opportunities, what we think is going to happen in the future, give my man Shannon Wheeler a call. Give him a buzz. Send him a message, whatever it takes. If you're on here, please do me a favor. Like, comment, and share the stream. If you could do me a huge favor, I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my YouTube page. Are you subscribed, Stevie?
Yeah, it says. I'm looking for it.
Old man needs a little help over there. Help him out. Help the man out. Helpless. The man needs help. Don't you? So if you do me a huge favor, like, comment, subscribe. All right, getting started. Whenever the real estate market was like extremely hot, let's say it was on fire. Let's say it was a year ago. And during this time, if you had a client that called in and they had a home they wanted to purchase, but they also had a home they had to sell, that is going to fall into what we would call a sell of home contingency. Well, during the last time, this problem could be solved just so easy, because if I had a buyer and they're buying your house, what I could do is I could call up my guy Stevie Z, get the house that of my client, the one that they're going to sell. I could have an offer on it just like that. You as the seller, you pretty much felt like you had no risk. It went bam, bam, bam. Well, now that there's a pause in the market, we're dealing with a lot more sell of home contingencies. If you've got a sell of home contingency, you don't have a contract. If you have a sell of home contingency contract, you ain't got no contract. I will discuss this. And if you disagree, say, I disagree. The reason why is before I can really do something, before I can really buy your house, before I can buy your house, Jacob, I've got to sell my house. Think about the domino effects that have to happen perfectly for this to work out. In the old days, well, I'm calling the old days like a year ago, less than a year ago, it was just, okay, well, you'll sell your house within an hour. How long is it taking to sell houses now?
Days, weeks.
Could take months. What are you doing over there, Edward? Hey, Ben, what's the word? What's Edward's new word? Maintenance mode. Maintenance man.
Maintaining leads.
Yeah, well, speed up. You could go a little quicker. So let's think about what happens. If I'm going to sell my home, we're going to put our home on the market in, 2 months. If we put our home on the market and somebody comes in and they want to buy our house, but they got to sell a home, here's what happens. I got to update it in my system. I got to put in there, I've got a contract, but I'm still showing. Well, technology sites, they may not understand that. So they may not put my home on Zillow. Or if they did, if it shows up on Zillow, it's going to say 1104 Julian Way for sale, but it's going to have something else under there. Do you know what it might be, Van? It might. I think it'll just say contract pending. So all the technology sites that your stuff goes to, whenever it's on Realtor.com or whatever it goes to, they'll see your house and it'll say under contract. It is under contract, but there's a 48-hour first right of refusal on it, which means if somebody had a buyer, they could come in and buy my house, and they had no contingencies, I would have to call up the other agent and say, look, you got 48 hours to remove your contingency or I'm taking this other offer. The problem with taking one of those type of contingency contracts is you won't get as many showings on your house. Do you want to go show somebody if the house is under contract? Now you will if you're trying to get in front of them, for the first time, but you don't want to go out there and waste your time. The buyers don't want to go see something out there. And the other thing is you've got to disclose this. You got to disclose this. If you've got a for sale or if you've got a contingency on there, I've got to let the marketplace know. I got to let other agents know, look, I got this baggage here. So whenever it works both ways, if you're representing a buyer and you got to sell theirs, you don't have anything until all the dominoes fall. And in our market now, moving forward as the market pauses and it's a little bit slower, the sale of home contingencies are going to come back. Another way we used to handle them is if Stevie brought me a client and I was representing the seller, I would say, here's what we'll do. I will hold this house for you for 7 days. We used to do that kind of stuff. We'll hold yours for 7 days, get yours under contract, and we will close. The market was moving so fast, there wasn't a problem. So let's move into the future on one of these deals. Let's say my Julian Way house is under contract, and the person that's buying mine, they have to sell their home. Do you know when deals usually fall apart?
Yeah, Tom.
72 hours before closing.
It's amazing how they fall apart on the last lap. Van's got what's the last lap? What flag is it?
The white flag.
Got the white flag out, man. We're coming home and the deal blows up. Because a lot of the problems aren't discovered on their loan until the final underwriter looks at it. Pre-quals and the way underwriting works is they really haven't verified everything until the end, and you don't turn it into underwriting until everything has been done on that file. So if I'm the loan officer, you're telling me all this stuff. I'm taking all this stuff in and predicting in good faith. Really, you're telling me all this stuff. Then it goes to this underwriter, and this underwriter's looking through there, and they're like, "Man, Stevie, you said you made X amount of dollars." You're like, "Well, I did, but 22% of your money is coming from something else, overtime or something that the lender won't count. This wasn't discovered until 4 days before closing. I've wasted all that time banking on this one house instead of bringing the whole market to my house." Whenever you've got to sell a home contingency, you don't have a contract. And I have seen this happen a lot in the last couple of weeks. Sell of home contingencies make me nervous because they're not as predictable. You can't say that deal's definitely gonna close because there's other things. That person's got to sell the house that they're buying or the house that they're selling. They're dependent upon a whole new buyer. We've added car links to our train. You see what I'm saying? The longer the train gets, the more probable there is, the more probability of a problem happens. Does that make sense? Home inspections. In the good old days, we had a lot of offers with no contingencies. No financing contingency. No home inspection contingency. Some of them we had, the only contingency in there was a viewing contingency. Think about how crazy this market was a year ago. Now it's going back to a normal market where it's going to take up to 90 days to sell a house. Well, because of that, inventory is going to grow. More people are going to look. People are going to decide at a lot slower rate. More and more sale of home contingencies will go under contract, and they won't close. In the last couple of years, everything that went under contract seemed to close. Now we're going to see some deals get shaky. Now, because here's the other thing. Let's say Jacob is moving here. You represent Jacob. He's moving here from Ohio. Jacob's got a house up in Ohio. Some agents don't know any better, but they're just going to take that offer. What would you want to know about Jacob's house up in Ohio?
Everything about it. What it look like, if it's even on the market, if it's about ready to be on the market.
If it's priced correctly.
Gotta know if it's priced right. What kind of condition is it in? Another thing I'd want to know is when you get a contract, I need to see it. I need to see a copy of that contract. I want to see if it's on Zillow. That stuff happens because you're really not doing yourself any favors if you're just taking people's word for it. And a lot of people that have never been through this, they're going to make a lot of mistakes. It's going to be a lot of pissed off people moving forward because agents haven't handled this. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to maneuver. They don't know how to prevent future problems. A lot of people, down to the last lap, somebody's got that victory lap out. Show us, how do you wave it? Coming home, damn car crashes into turn 3. Blows the whole deal up. Everybody's had 36 days into this contract, lost valuable time on the market. Think about the emotions that go through this. Packed up her house. We're moving. Get that phone call, man. Weatherman's famous lines. You ain't gonna believe this. You ever heard Weatherman say that?
You ain't gonna believe this.
Man, you ain't gonna believe this. Would you get onto YouTube and please like, comment, share onto Facebook? How many sale of home contingencies have you dealt with
This year,
in your career?
probably 20, 30.
20 of, but see, the way they used to be is you could get immediate offer from an investor. Cash offer. Really low probability of it not funding. Very low probability of it not closing. Now we're dependent upon a new buyer that's got to get a mortgage and a maybe an inexperienced loan officer and an inexperienced realtor. Go ahead and get on. You ain't got to stare at me like you've never seen me before.
Half of the deals that we worked this year have all had a home sale contingency.
Half of the deals that they have worked have a home sale contingency.
We
And
got 2 under contract right now.
you do? They're both homes got.
But I was working as a buyer's agent, so I was able to package it really, really well to get it accepted.
Whenever you're having to represent a buyer and they've got a house to sell, you don't have near as much leverage. Which deals do you have that are under?
So I've got one out in Altamont. They have a house listed in Florida. So
They got anything under contract? Have they got anything working on it?
they do. But it was one of those ones where I was working with the inexperienced listing agent. I was able to just talk through. And then the most recent one, General Yeager in Liberty Valley, theirs is actually under contract and passed inspection. So I submitted the inspection report where they passed it and the contract, and made the listing agent feel really, really, really comfortable about them having that house.
So now all these deals you're talking about, you got to go back to where the deal starts. That's how big your job's got. Now you got to check in with the people in Florida.
Right.
How's this? I mean, they become a lot tougher, a lot more detail, a lot more maintenance, Ed. A lot more. They just become very high maintenance deals. But it's just part of the market that we're in right now. So see, now you got to call that agent. Hey, have they got a contract on the one in Florida yet, or is it?
No. But I'm on the listing agent out there. I'm pretty much the listing agent out there,
See, like you said earlier, you got to know what that thing's priced at. Then you need to know this: whoever's coming in and doing their loan, who is it's doing the loan on that house down there. Right. It's like you got to you've got to like zoom out and see a lot more. At one time, you just had to see this one deal. Now it's grown to where you got to see where this deal started, and then you got to look for faults in the deal. Not just your deal, but the other deal. Whose responsibility is it now? It's your responsibility. It's your money. Some
I
people.
want to see that contract that goes on that house.
There
before
you,
they accept it.
there you go. I completely understand it. So contingencies are making a comeback.
They're back.
They are back. They are tough. There's going to be a lot of people that get their feelings hurt because, like a lot of the people now, they see a house, they fall in love with this. The house, they want it. They're drinking it. Most people still feel like their home is worth more than what it's worth. Well, I'll buy this house. I'm gonna beat this person's. I'm gonna beat their brains in. I ain't paying full price on their house. Then on my house, look, my house is worth more. Then it goes on the market. Then it's a week, no showings. Another week, people are getting mad. Sooner or later, deal fatigue sets in, and people are like, "Shit, we just ain't gonna do this." My deal fatigue last year was about a week. I'm like, I ain't doing this. If you have any questions, if you're in a contingency, or if you're thinking about buying a home, and you've got to do something with your home, you need to give us a call because we got some good strategies that can help you out. Shut us down, Vingratin.